Yeah, exactly.
Good morning. Oh, discombobulated this morning. Happy Mother's Day. For all of you mothers that are mothers and all of you males that need to say hi and call your mother. So, oh, I remember. Jan, would you grab my phone, please? Thank you. New business, Merit Resource Services. I'll put some stuff on the back. New, it's a drug and alcohol counseling center, and they do like walk-in, what do they call it? Walk-in, thank you. Yeah, walk-in assessments as opposed to having to, go through all your stuff and all that kind of thing. So nice folks, really nice people. This is their 6th location, and that stuff will be in the back. And nope, I'm good with that, thanks. Thought for today: a mother becomes a true grandmother the day she stops noticing the terrible things her children are doing, and because she's becoming so enchanted with the wonderful things her grandchildren are doing. Absolutely. And then the parade in the magazine, thanks hon, in the newspaper had some things about celebrities and their moms and what they learned from their moms. And of course, out of all of these people, I only know 2 of them. I don't know who the rest of these people are. One of them is a new gentleman on NCIS, if you ever watched that, Wilmer Valderrama. And he says, it's not about what it could have been, it's about what it was. Only celebrate what it was. That's what he learned from his mom. So, and then Pharrell Williams, who we play occasionally here, if you don't do it for yourself, you can't depend on others to do it for you. Sometimes that is true. That is true. Lots of stuff going on the calendar. It's always back there. It's online. Obviously an article on the back by Janice. And we always start with Qigong is always in the back on Sundays. So if you want to know what Qigong is, talk to Mary Ann right there. So, and she does a lot of other stuff too. Interesting lady. You need to talk to her. Drumming circle. Do a drum circle on Tuesday. Do we know? As far as we know, Daryl will be doing a drumming circle on Tuesday. If you want to know what that is, ask somebody. Interchange with William and Sandra on Wednesday. Intuitive development with Beth. Oh, okay. On Thursday. ARE also meets on Thursday. The emergent group, the kids, teenagers will meet on Saturday, next Saturday.
By the way, it's the last intuitive development before summer.
Okay. Last intuitive development before summer. And for all the people on YouTube, we are the only church in the universe that starts our service with the Doobie Brothers. And there is no doubt about it, because sometimes I get it too dang loud, which it was a little bit loud today, but that's okay. That brings you back to when you were younger and used to go to rock concerts, right? And oh man, that was loud. Now we go to our grandkids, when we go to hear them, have to kind of put our fingers in our ears sometimes just because they're loud. So we do have a couple of patron saints by the name of John Lennon and George Carlin. And John said, if everyone demanded peace instead of another television set, there would be peace. So, yep. And George, what year did Jesus think it was? I don't know. These complicated things. This wasn't there. That's what I wanted right there. The book fell apart, so I know. There is a great deal of evidence to indicate that apples were eaten many thousands of years ago. If not the very first fruit, then it was among the earliest of those became a favorite with humans. Charred remains of apples have been found in prehistoric sites such as Swiss lake dwellings. People of early Israel were well acquainted with the apple. It was so familiar that it applied its name to the human eye, which is shaped quite like a round pippin. So they often spoke of the apple of your eye. Thank you, Janice. She noticed that it was too loud. So, sculpture frequently, Oh, it was a misprint. Scripture is what they meant to say. Frequently stresses the supreme value of the eyes in passages like Deuteronomy, Psalms, Proverbs, with fine shapes of meaning lost in translation. English Bibles include a number of references to the fruit-like organ, which resulted in anything extremely precious, no matter what its shape, being termed the apple of the eye. So, now you know where that came from. Things that make you go, fortune favors the bold, but abandons the timid. It's a little Latin proverb. Take chances. Pays off sometimes. To be agreeable in society, you must consent to be taught many things which you already know. Skepticism is the chastity of the intellect, and it is shameful to surrender to it too soon or to the first comer. Interesting. So, stop. No, it's still moving. British merchant Peter Durand came up with the idea of canned food in 1810. But the can opener wasn't invented until 48 years later. Before Ezra Warner patented the first can opener in 1858, cans were opened with a hammer and a chisel. I have opened some with hammers and chisels before. You know, when you're out camping and you want to eat, whatever you need to do. So, questions without answers. If you try to fail and succeed, which one have you done? If you ate pasta and antipasta, would you still be hungry? If work is so terrific, how come they have to pay you to do it? If the number 2 pencil is the most popular, why is it still number 2? If the world is a stage, where is the audience sitting? Before they invented drawing boards, what did they go back to? If a turtle doesn't have a shell, is he homeless or naked? I don't know. I don't have answers for these. Anybody ever read Ask Marilyn in the Parade magazine? The lady is one of the top highest IQs in the country, and I mean like the less than 0.5%. Really, really smart lady. But this person asks about terrible weather around the world and why we never hear about tornadoes anywhere else. Well, I knew this was true, but I'd never seen numbers before. According to her, the average number of tornadoes in this country is 1,000 every year. And of course, some of them being pretty doggone bad. The number 2 country with 100 is Canada. And the rest of the world combined is between 100 and 200. So yeah, by a long shot, this country gets the most tornadoes. So, interesting.
I got something to share with that, Phil.
Uh-huh.
I was in China for 3 weeks here in 2012.
Uh-huh.
And the wind there was blowing about 10 miles an hour. And I mean, the people, oh my gosh, it is so windy here. And they were apologizing. That's all, we're sorry for the bad weather. And it's like,
Oh, what? Yeah. Yeah, and that does. It puts things in perspective when you do things like that. Yep. Let me see. I forgot to pull this up on my phone. I did it earlier, so let's see if it'll actually come back again. Mother's Day and religion. See if that comes too big. What did I do it before, hun? It's still not working with that one. Okay. How mothers teach us religion. I know. Oh, great. And it's not coming up this time. Doggone it. Oh, well. It was funny. Yeah, doggone it. Oh, well. Yep. Maybe I'll figure it out later. Yep.
You better pray that comes out of the carpet.
Yeah. Things you learn from your mothers in religion. Yep. Better pray it comes out of the carpet. Yeah. Okay. We do the. Okay. There's this blonde out for a walk. She comes to the river and sees another blonde on the opposite bank. Yoo-hoo, she shouts. How can I get to the other side? The second blonde looks up the river, and she looks down the river and said, you are on the other side. So, a gorgeous young redhead goes to the doctor's office and said that her body hurt everywhere she touched it. Impossible, says the doctor. Show me. The redhead took her finger, pushed it on her left shoulder, and screamed. Then she pushed her elbow and screamed even more. She pushed her knee and screamed. Likewise, she pushed her ankle and screamed. Everywhere she touched, she screamed. The doctor said, "You're not really a redhead, are you?" "Well, no, I'm actually a blonde." He said, "Well, I thought so." The doctor said, "Your finger's broken." I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Bound to get me in trouble. Bound to get me in trouble. Hey, you know what? Before we get started, it is Mother's Day, and Janice, she had a son and never had a daughter. Well, she kind of does have a daughter now. So, daughter, you want to come up here? So, yeah. If she.
Are you going to ground me? We just want to sing.
Come on.
Yeah. Janice has been there from the beginning, and she's very special in my heart. So I wrote a little something for you. Mom, even though you didn't carry me in your womb, you protected me long before I took my first breath. Thank you for always being my home. Being my home. Sorry. Never used one. Okay. There's my first thank you. Sorry.
I love you so much. You know that, right? Okay, stay right here.
You were the one there to take my first steps. Thank you for helping me stand on my own. Thank you for caring for me when I was unwell. Thank you for teaching me compassion. These ones have spikes. Thank you for teaching me how important it is to always keep learning. You taught me never to judge a book by its cover, and thank you for always grounding me.
Grounding you and helping you become grounded are kind of similar.
She doesn't send me to my room. She just makes sure my feet are always planted. And she gives me good advice. That's how we call it grounding. Thank you for teaching me tolerance. You know, you didn't need a lot of that. You were the one who was proud of me regardless of my choices. You were the one who encouraged me to dream. Thank you for teaching me to believe in myself. You are the one that helped me carry my broken heart, and thank you for always wiping away my tears and showing me how important it is to have hope. You are the one that gives me unconditional love, and thank you for always being my shelter in any storm. And you always stood by my side as a mom and a companion and a friend. Thank you for making sure I was never alone, and he blessed me to have you in my life. Best mom, best grandma ever. Those are for you. Sorry about the handwriting.
It has truly been my honor. She is the daughter of my heart.
She is mom of my heart.
That's because I turned it off. So now you'll never know what I said. Hey,
I'm gonna go find a vase.
okay, let's sing a song. And it is always one of my favorites because it's always my wish for everyone here. It's Forever Young.
Lost my glasses.
I found the jokes. But before I do, real quick, some of you, our congressman, Dan Newhouse, lost his wife the other day. So it was kind of a shame.
Well, she didn't lose her, she passed away.
Well, yeah.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of the same thing? So, okay. Dan's Dan's wife passed away. So, okay. All right. This is things my mother taught me. My mother taught me to appreciate a job well done. If you're going to kill each other, do it outside. I just finished cleaning. My mother taught me religion. You'd better pray that comes out of the carpet. My mother taught me about time travel. If you don't straighten up, I'm going to knock you into the middle of next week. Oh, that one. Love that. Yeah. My mother taught me logic because I said so. That's why. My mother taught me more logic. If you fall out of that swing and break your neck, you're not going to the store with me. My mother taught me foresight. Make sure you wear clean underwear in case you're in an accident. My mother taught me irony. Keep crying and I'll give you something to cry about. My mother taught me about the science of osmosis. Shut your mouth and eat your supper. My mother taught me about contortionism. Will you look at that dirt on the back of your neck? This goes on and on and on. So look it up. It's pretty good.
And what was it again, just so?
It's things.
Speaking to me.
Things our mothers taught us.
You know, when my mom was alive, I used to say, if it's not one thing, it's your mother. I loved her dearly. She was a class act. She was really a wonderful person. She lived what she believed, and she was an honorable woman. I have so much I want to share with you about moms, spiritually, about moms. Shelley, Chuck, and Nicholas. Shelley is my son's ex-wife. And so the love that we have created with each other, it transcends physical relationships. We're mother-daughter. That's why she calls me mother of her heart, and she's the daughter of my heart. But having a mom is kind of be challenging, you know? Sometimes our moms are difficult. You were just talking about that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. We love them. I want us to think about moms differently this morning. Because even though I adored my mother, we were just different. She perceived things differently than I did. And her choices would be different in her life than I would make. But she taught me so much. She gave me the gift of loving words. I love words. Thank goodness, right? Because I use them all the time. And as a result of that, I love to read, love to learn. She taught me how to love flowers and garden. She just loved her garden. We live in the house that she and Dad lived in. We bought it from them after Dad passed away. And all of her irises are blooming. They kill my allergies, but they're beautiful. So I keep the doors closed, windows closed, and just look at them. They're lovely. But plenty of flowers out there that she planted. She planted them, and they still, to this day, are blooming. So she taught me that. She also taught me how to question everything. I remember as a little kid, and the question of Santa Claus came up. And my cousin was, oh, I'm so excited, Santa Claus is coming. I thought, Santa Claus? What's she talking about? And, I heard of Santa Claus, but I thought it was, I knew it was just a joke. So, but she was sure Santa Claus was coming, so made me confused. So I went to my mom, I said, Mom, so what's the deal with Santa Claus? She said, what do you think? I said, well, I don't know, that's why I'm asking you. She says, you think about it. You'll come up with the answer. And even as a 4-year-old, she instilled in me, don't take anything at face value, ask, and ask yourself. Seek the answers, get information, and come to your own conclusions. I think that bit her in the butt as we got older in our relationship. But it was wonderful. It's been a foundation for my whole life. At the same time, I think we choose our parents. A lot of us in this room think that. Some go, what are you talking about? It's crazy. Because I think we come to teach them something. And, my mother and I had this little bit of a struggle when I became old enough to be an adult, I thought. So I struggled against her mothering me, which is natural, normal, we do that. And then when I came back as an adult, back to the Pacific Northwest, I think I'd been gone, 20-something years, came back, we had this whole different relationship. It was lovely. We were friends and mother-daughter. So it was wonderful. And when we came back, this 20-plus year absence, I had gotten to the place where I hugged everybody. I became a hugger. You're warned. If you walk through those doors, you're likely to get a hug. I try to read people, and if you're not a huggy kind of person, I try not to. But if your arms open up, you're going to get hugged. And so I hugged her every time I saw her, and every time I left, I hugged her again. And then one day I was over at the house, I gave her a big hug, and she says, I didn't used to hug people. We didn't hug in the family I grew up in. But she said, I kind of like it. And I've started hugging my friends. And I've started hugging my sisters. And I like it a lot. So thank you for teaching that to me. I think we come not just to be taught by our parents, but to teach them things, to teach our moms things, to be there for them. We have something they didn't have in their experience of life. We have something innately within us that we give to them, that we teach them. Mothers, this whole concept of mother is about the giving birth. They're the vehicle by which you got here. Do you get angry at your car because it takes you to the wrong store? No, it got you there. The choice to get where you're at is your choice along the way. It's a vehicle by which you get there. So it's time to cut the umbilical cord on all the resentment and bitterness, or what did Wilmer say? All those expectations of what could have been or should have been. They did what they could. Your mom did what she could. Maybe she taught, the first thing is bringing you into this world. She got you here, right? Okay, give her credit for that. That's not a fun thing. It's not a fun task. Get you there. And we all have mothers. We all do. I don't know of a single person in this room that was incubated. You just arrived. The normal way. Second thing moms do is they nourish us. They nourish us physically, give us food. They nourish us emotionally, give us emotional stability. They do that for us. And sometimes like my mother couldn't hug. I was a hugger. I needed hugs. Mom didn't have that in her. She didn't know that. She didn't experience that. So when I learned that and I brought that back to her, what a gift that was. So there's something you're learning as a human being, as an adult, that you're going to take back to your parents. You're going to take back to your mom. Teach her something. And that's the third thing, is teaching us. They teach us right from wrong. Sometimes they teach us right from wrong by doing the wrong thing. And sometimes they teach us right from wrong by, you better pray, that comes out of the carpet. You know, moms are here to guide us, to give us these safe boundaries. Because when we have safe boundaries as a child, then we can create safe boundaries for us as an adult. Because here's the deal. When we get into a place where we're an adult, that relationship with our mother must change. Must. It does. It has to change. Not that we become the mother and start mothering them. Some of us have to do that. Some of us take that caretaking role on. But our relationship changes in the fact that we no longer require her to be the sustenance for us. I didn't have time to look up my Bible verse, so I apologize. But the Bible verse I wanted to bring to you was when Jesus was doing healings. He was such a compassionate person. He was doing all these healings and caring for people. And somebody says, oh, Jesus, your mother's outside. Your mother and your brothers are outside. And he said, these are my mothers and my brothers. We're family. This is a family of choice. Like Shelley, Chuck, and Nicholas. They're a family of choice. And when we have a family of choice, those are the ones we choose because they can nurture our souls. They can help us see what's right and wrong. Have you ever had a good friend tell you, oh, hold up on that? I think you're off base on that. You ever had a friend tell you that? If you haven't, you don't have the right kind of friends yet. Because friends are here to tell you, wait a minute, I think you're off base about that. They're here to help you see what's right and what's wrong. And they're here to nurture and nourish, help you, give you that spiritual encouragement to do the right thing, to move forward. That's what moms do. That's what moms do. And here's the wonderful thing is, whether you're a guy or a gal, you can mother someone else. Be that nurturing, loving, supportive self. And you can help them birth themselves into a new existence. There's people in this room who are emerging from what was. Maybe they don't know what the next thing is. It's like, I'm scared. I don't know. I don't know what I'm emerging into. I could be a butterfly or a dragonfly or a squirrel. I don't know. But that's what we're here for each other about, is to share that nurturance, is to share the ability to guide and give wise counsel so that we can tell people, I think you're off base here, or yeah, go for it. That's a wonderful thing. I'm here for you. I gotcha. That's what love does. That's what love does. And whatever relationship you had with your mother, it's time to cut the umbilical cord and create new links, new energetic links with the chosen people in your life and with Divine Source. Allowing Divine Source to give birth to you, the new you, to help you emerge into whatever it is that you're becoming. To nourish you, to feed your soul, to feed your awareness, to give you insights, and to help you see what's right and what's wrong. You'll know what's right and what's wrong, not by, oh, that feels good and that doesn't feel good, because sometimes the very right thing is hard. You ever had to do the hard right thing? I don't want to. I will. And that's what it's about. It's about walking up to a challenge and going, okay, I got this. And that's what this healing, loving light, this loving energy is all about, that's available to you. Whether your mother is on the other side, or your mother is in a rest home, or your mother is non-existent in your life, or you don't even know your mother, that doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. That vehicle that got you here, we can honor that person for what they did. Not for what they didn't do. Not criticize for what they didn't do. Honor them for what they did. They got you here. Now it's you. Now you get to choose. You get to choose what shoes you're going to wear, what car you're going to drive. We're not going to blame the shoes or the car for getting us where we are. Those are our choices. And we're going to allow ourselves to use the power of choice to choose wisely. Now here in a minute, I'm going to walk you through a process where you're going to be gifted with a rose. Energetically speaking, I was just gifted with a whole bunch. I'm so excited. Often I'll take my rose out early and leave it at home. And I didn't take any. It's like, oh, I just didn't want to think about it. Didn't have time. So it was gifted to me by releasing that. You're going to be given a rose. And as you receive your rose, I want you to honor the inner child within you. The rose is the highest energetic vibration of any plant on the planet. Highest vibration. This vibrates at the energy of love. So allow yourself to honor your inner child. Allow yourself to acknowledge your inner child. Allow yourself to nurture your inner child. And allow the rose to assist you in birthing yourself into a new being, a new way of being. Allow this rose to feed you energetically. When you look in this rose, they unfurl. They're so beautiful as they open. Allow this rose to energetically infuse within you a new level of energy. A level of energy of compassion and tenderness for yourself and others. And allow this rose, even though it's going to be one individual rose, allow yourself to recognize that this rose is a part of a bigger whole. It's part of a bouquet. And even though you take one rose, you do not diminish the whole of it. Even though you stand alone as an adult, as a person on your own, you do not diminish the collective of being a child of God. No one can ever take that from you. And in the eyes of divine, you are precious. You are a delight. It's not about you being right or wrong, good or bad. It's about picking yourself up and learning, figuring it out. What do you think? That's the energy that you're going to infuse within yourself, the ability to ponder. You don't have to react to anything in life. There's no expectations here. This gives you power, a new sense of power of yourself, of your connection with Divine Source, and of your connection with one another. So if I could have some helpers up front, please. She's got a plan. I'm glad somebody's got a plan. We have to kind of like streamline this thing. So while they're waiting, I'd like you just to ponder your relationship with your mother. I'd like you to ponder your relationship with Divine Source. And as you're pondering that, allow yourself to feel really connected. Honoring the journey that brought you here to this place in time. Honoring how you got here. Ponder what lesson you taught your mother. Because she needed you for something. Maybe she still does. Maybe the lesson is yet untaught. But you intuitively, intrinsically have some unique characteristic that your mother was bereft of. But you own. And if your mother's not in a place here where you can communicate that lesson to her, you can share it with others because of our divine connection here. And when you feel ready, whether you're a guy or a gal or a kid or a grown-up, come up here and receive the gift of this rose. Whoever's ready. Come on up. Yes, ma'am. Amen to that. And that's what it's about. That's exactly what it's about. Blessings to you. Many blessings. Come on. Come on up.
Single parent for years. A single parent for years.
There you go.
Not of my mom, but
Amen to that. Many blessings. Many blessings. Many blessings. Many blessings. Oops. Many blessings.
Exactly the one I wanted.
Love you,
sweetheart.
Thank you. Oops. Get a grip here. And be careful, some of these still have thorns. Oh, thank you very much, sweetheart. Thank you. Happy Mother's Day, Thank you. Love you. I love you too. Oops, excuse me. Many blessings, dear.
Love you.
You too.
My mother was a Blue Star mother. She had sons that were active military, and my wife was the same thing.
Again?
Anybody else? We got just us here. Thanks. One for Phil. Mr. Phil? You get one too. Many blessings. Many blessings. How about you? Let's give you one. Thank you. Party. I think our helpers did a really good job. Let's give them a hand. Many blessings. Ooh, no, crash. I'm going to fall down yet today. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. So, Mr. Phil, why don't you join me up front, please? Turn it. Communion is a physical manifestation of our connection to one another and our connection to divine source. Those of us who are followers of the way, Jesus said, I am the way, the truth, and the life. Those of us who are followers of that, I would ask you to, he said when he instituted communion, whatever this is, communion. He said, do this in remembrance of me. Others would have you do this in remembrance of what was done to him. I want you to remember his compassion, his gentleness, his kindness. So in that remembrance, would you join me in prayer, please? Loving Spirit of light, we thank you for the nurturance that you give us. We thank you for the rebirthing that you give us so that we are always in a moment of change and opportunity. And we thank you for helping us to see right from wrong and making better choices for ourselves, not out of shame, not out of guilt, not out of fear, but out of emerging into a greater level of love. For this we are extremely grateful. In the name of Jesus, amen. And likewise, as we remember and hold in our hearts that energy of gentleness and compassion, join me in prayer again, please. Loving Spirit of light, as we drink this in, help us to drink in life. And as we drink in life, help us to see the beauty and the peace and the grace in all of it. These things we pray in the name of Jesus. Amen.
We're all in this together. We share. God always has helpers, if you will, that are of equal value. in the sense of we all do it together, and none of us get beyond anybody else. There's no graduation that one's better than the other. We talk about our mothers, and I'm going to take a moment here. There are those of us who perhaps did not have the most favorable childhoods that you thought were, this was a mistake. This is not right. And you knew that it was not right, not the way that it was supposed to be. But for me, I had an opportunity when I was 24 months old to go live with Mama Little, when my mother had to go to work during the war in 41. I guess it was 42 then. She had to drive early in the morning to get to a Camp Crowder to work, and she didn't drive, and so she had to get up at, before dawn to go to work, and she didn't drive. So her best choice was to have me go live with someone. And so I lived with Mama Little until I was 6. I was the apple of her eye. I could do no wrong. She showed me what love, unconditional love, is about. And I've brought that with me through my whole life because I did not get that from my mother. There was no father in my life, so she was my sole source. So I was so grateful for that. After that came Jane Reed. She became a teacher that William and I came across, who was an incredible lady, and connected with her. After that was Granny Joy. She was my neighbor. Oh my gosh, Granny Joy loved me and cared for me. I'd be out in the garden and she'd bring me lunch. I mean, she was a wonderful, and she would ask me spiritual questions. Well, what do you think about this? Knowing that I was of a different belief because she was a Baptist. And then came along Mary Kay, William's mother. Oh, we were at loggerheads from the beginning. We just kind of went, but we were too much alike. So towards the end of her life, about 5 years ago, about 2 years before she passed, it changed. It shifted. She started to confide in me about things in her life. And we'd call, and she'd call, and we'd talk just like girls. And we'd laugh, and she would say to me, aren't we grateful and so blessed to have awakened before it was too late? Oh my gosh. Where had been this battle all those 20 years. Miracles happen. Lorraine Byrne, who was here, she and I were so very, very close. She had that mother acceptance, love. So I know that there are those of you here today that have people who have given you that kind of love and affection, and bring that energy in, because for me to stand here and send it out into the universe, I know they get it too. And so I am very, very grateful. I'm grateful for my mother, Bernice, who gave me what she could, and God gave her helpers where she couldn't give what she couldn't give. Bless all of you today. We're here today to share the love that we are. Whatever money, pieces of paper, little silver discs do, great. The gift is being here together and sharing and providing for this opportunity. Thank you for being here.
Thank you, Cynthia. So you're at a point of choice. We could go home early and you could have your Mother's Day stuff, or we can do a really short guided meditation. What would you?
Nobody stood up.
Well, okay. So because we are so short on time, we probably will not have any time to analyze afterwards. Well, let's just do a really brief, very brief guided meditation, since that's